Okay, as you can see, the sump is reinstalled. It went back on so much easier than the original one came off. I don't believe it had ever been off. The gasket was the original gasket right here. There was no signs of any RTV or anything on that gasket. What I did was I put a super thin layer of RTV around the engine side, and I put a super thin layer on the actual sump as well, with the brand new gasket in between. Just in case there's some irregularities in the aluminum, I want to be able to take that up with the RTV. I did an initial torque with my impact right here, about 4 abadugas. That is good enough for the initial torque. I will go back around staggering them by hand with a wrench. I do have a torque wrench, but I'm usually pretty good at getting stuff like this tight where it's not going to leak or there's not going to be any issues. This stuff here, carburetors, as long as they're tight, because over torquing does stretch the bolts and will damage the bolts over time. So just be your own judge and tighten everything up to where you feel like it's good. Valve cover still off. I will reinstall that just so no dirt or anything gets down into the valves. Obviously exhaust. So I want to put the valve cover on, and then there's some junk in the cooling fins while it's apart. Get that cleaned up as much as I can. Stuff like that I don't think I'm going to worry about. It is a used engine. It's going to be sold as a used engine, so it's not 100% perfect, but it will be good. So I do got to spin the engine over by hand once, make sure nothing is binding before that actually tightens up too much. But everything should be fine. So, like I said before, I went through about this is my third piece of cardboard at the moment. There is newspaper underneath that, and then the cardboard that's on top of the bench, which I don't want to get covered in oil if I can prevent it. So, hopefully I'm okay on that. This engine definitely was a bit of a mess. So, anyways, I am, like I said, I'm done with this for now. I'm going to turn it over by hand and get some stuff cleaned up. But the engine cannot be put upright at the moment. So I got to block the exhaust port as well. Don't want nothing going down in there. And screwing with the valves and eventually or potentially getting down to the pistons. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.